Okay guys, I'm very frustrated and disheartened right now. I don't know if I didn't put enough glue or what, but sorting out getting those gas pistons on there, and as I was closing it, you know, it applies some pressure there and it just plain broke. It didn't break, but the glue that held this together just came right off. It popped it apart. Okay guys, so I re-glued the flag, and I decided that what we're going to do, we're still going to use those gas cylinders, those gas pistons, but to distribute some of the pressure rather than all hitting like right here on one of these, we're going to put these two boards in here. That should distribute some of the pressure that goes down on it. Doesn't look as great from the inside, but I think it's going to add to some strength and durability. They're both 1 3/4 of an inch away from the edge, so I already measured that out. So here we go. Of course, let's pre-drill a few holes so that we don't splinter our wood. All right, cool, that's done. I know better. I had this problem with my last project. Did you guys see my facial expressions? I got careless. I did not think I was drilling that deep. I really didn't. Problem number 2, the pieces I cut, I didn't even measure. I don't even know how long they were. I just chopped them, made sure they're even. But, you know, there's 1.5 inches on the top and bottom of this thing. So they were going to end up, like if I was moving down here, I was probably going to be hitting there. So I just cut 1.5. So I'm going to use 1, same concept. Very boneheaded move on my part, but there's nothing to do but try to fix it and carry on. It's frustrating because I was basically done. I was ready to go. I was ready to finish this one up. So step 1, let's get this on here. I'm not going to put it obviously through the holes because they were too deep and they were pretty much more or less bored out. So at least my knot. All right, that's on there, secure, good and tight. Gosh darn it, guys. I can't get sloppy with this. Hold on. Let's get it measured properly. Let's do it. All right, so frustration and anger was getting the best of me. All right, so I cut. You see these are the same length now. We're at 2 inches. That's totally fine. Let's just be uniform. That's what's key here. 1 screw. Make sure not to pop my screw right on a seam. See that hole, that pre-drilled hole's just about right on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and come down here. Just take these things 1 step at a time. I'm angry, I'm agitated. I was so close to done. I made a stupid, careless error. And it's so dumb and careless, but you don't want to ruin an entire project. You can fix just about anything, especially with woodworking. So let's do some fixes. We'll see how well this turns out. Wood filler, interior wood filler. Yes, I'm gonna have to restain each dabble here. That's really obnoxious. I'm not happy about it. And this is, I've had this wood filler forever, so it's probably dry on the top. I may need to poke a hole in it or something. I still can't believe I did that, guys. Like, how stupid. So careless. I didn't think that drill bit was that deep that it would go through. So I guess this is kind of interesting for the video. We'll see. I mean, this had a decent finish to it, although now I'm getting it dirty, all kinds of things. Like, We're gonna use this wood filler. You know, I'm gonna put it on the surface. I'm gonna take a sanding block. Just once it dries up, just sand over it real finely, real fast. All right, we got wood filler in each one of those. Let's go ahead and put some on the back side. Across the surface of it, we're still gonna let all that dry. Just kind of getting rid of a little bit of the excess. So now if you can see what this phase looks like, I mean, you don't notice the holes anymore. You obviously notice the wood filler there. So if we can stain it decently, we should be okay. Especially since this is a slightly rustic looking item. I'm hoping, like if you look at this star, I'm hoping in the end it doesn't turn out that bad. When I stained this, I used up every bit of the stain I had. So this is my next closest color. Not that I owned, but the stain that I was using. I used up all of it. So I'm gonna start with these. They're a different stain tint. Shouldn't be a big deal. With these, even though the color is off, I think it looks better being off a different color than when it was not stained at all. Hopefully it blends a little bit more when it dries. All right. So now, at least on this side, there's some slight imperfections, but it's not anything major. At least that's my opinion. I really hope it blends. If it does not blend, then we're kind of out of luck, aren't we? I do believe this will dry and blend and soak a little bit. The question is just how much. I guess if I need to, I could always just run my grubby hands over top of it until it doesn't really look that white anymore, huh? Got there once, we can get there again, can't we? I gave that a real super duper light sanding. Actually, that might be what I need to do. If this white sticks out a little too much, I might just need to take that sand block and just run it kind of over top of everything real quick, real lightly, because it did kind of smear a little bit. It weathered it a little bit, kind of in a good way. I actually kind of like the way it looked after I sanded on it just a little bit. So guys, I was very mad a few minutes ago. And yeah, I could be a lot farther along and probably finished up with this project right now. But, you know, everything's fixable. And this still needs to dry, so let's see what the final result is. But I goofed. But I think we've recovered from it. Yeah, you can't see the holes. You can see a couple paint stain spots right now. You can see the white's a little bit clean again. I think just one run across once this dries here in a bit of the sanding block, you won't even notice. Okay, so I think this is looking pretty good. Those holes are not really even noticeable anymore. So we're gonna go ahead and put this on. I am gonna give it a light sand when we're done with everything, but I can re-secure this and get this all together and just do that sanding coat that I was talking about, just to blend some of that lighter stain, some of that new stain. I can do that after the fact. So we're gonna go ahead and put this back on. Okay, so now we have our lid back on. Now let's go back to where things went wrong last time. All right, time to get this stuff back on here. Okay, so that one is 3.5 inches from the very edge. So it's right there. All right, I have made my spot. So I think part of what's going to save me this time around from tearing up the lid is putting the pistons on both sides, so that as it presses down, it's not all just on one side in one specific spot with the pressure. So along with these pieces of block, which I think are the biggest difference maker, I think also getting both of them on at the same time will help take care of this and keep it in better shape. All right, we have these pieces on. They are in good shape, good to go. Now we want to get this one on over here. These pistons seem very stiff. I don't remember them being so bad last time. Alright, we're going to try this. I'm genuinely confused because they don't go any longer. So I can't take this piece and push it back here. But I feel like it takes every single bit of pushing this thing in to get it to close. So I see why it broke last time, like, because you have to really put this pressure on it, but it also isn't, like, it's almost like the ones I had before were longer and came out farther, which this one does not. And there's no instructions with these. Each of these ends unscrew, but that's just a solid piece. That end doesn't adjust. We're just gonna put them on and we're gonna try. We're gonna see what happens. I'm using some longer screws this time since it's gonna go through this piece. I'm putting it at the very, very bottom. I'm not even gonna measure because I measured when I put the blocks on here. So the blocks are at the same distance apart. Alright. If this tears it up or doesn't work, I'm truly stuck and I don't know how to think and think and think. I'm nervous about this one. See? It gets stuck there. It doesn't go down anymore. What is not going right here? And I did it again. And I didn't even put that much pressure on it. Okay guys, so I re-glued this together again. And I moved these brackets up here. I took the base brackets down here. I moved them back. Because the biggest thing that was happening is it would close and the gasket would pinch shut. And it'd be to position about here. And I also had them flipped around, and these, if you can see what I'm pointing at, this end didn't have any room to maneuver and turn itself over to lay completely horizontal. So by adjusting things more and flipping the gaskets the other direction, I wanted this to open more than 90 degrees, but it just wasn't happening. The angles weren't right, it wasn't working, so I made adjustments, finagled it, and now it shuts very nicely. It actually shuts kind of hard. I'm gonna put a lock on it, but that's gonna be, you know, so it's gonna be a nice and tight lid and secure. But yeah, I feel like it's working pretty good. If you notice the top here, we did scuff it some more. It's, you know, kind of rustic, a little dirty. I used that. I did some of this off camera just because I wanted to mess with it. I wanted to get it going. I was kind of frustrated with the way I was having issues. So we do have a little bit of an old look, you know, some scuffs, some of the stain has bled over and whatnot, but not in like a sloppy, like terrible way. Just give it a little bit of an old look. So I'm okay with it, where we're at with everything. I've programmed these RFID cards. I have my master, I have the chips, the cards, all that's ready to go. Basically I just got to mount. And that can be tricky because you got to line things up just right. Now I was looking at my first one of these I was looking at the video today, and apparently I adjusted it about 6 times before getting it right. We'll see if we do a little better today or not. That one's going to be a real pain to get out if it's not right. So I really, really hope it is. Alright, my thought here, some of this white wood glue on there so I can find exactly where I need to mount the lid, the lock on the lid. Okay, right there. Here's to hoping that glue trick worked on the first try. Let's get these batteries back in this. Here's to hoping, right? A little bit of lining. So let's see what we have going on here. I know you guys can't really see anything right now. This might need to move. Well, actually I can move this over just a hair. Alright, I'm gonna try that. If it was off, it was so very close. I'm not going to put the middle screw in yet. So that actually went, but it needs to go down. That actually secured, so we're lined up right, but it needs to go lower than it's sitting right now. So we'll use our card. This should open it up. There we go. Okay, so we know we're lined up in the right spot. We actually just need to lower this, so that's all good news. Okay, now this should go all together nicely, one hopes. What's going on now? And maybe I went too low this time. See, this stuff, this is why this is so challenging. It's so hard to get just right. Is this the fourth adjustment? It's locked. It's unlocked. So now it's working. It's shut. You can see it's flush. This is where we need to be. It's not opening. We're going to put this sticker, just so you know, right there. So I have this hardware that it can be hung on a wall and we sat down. We have a little wear and tear to things, but all in all we're in pretty good shape. Of course there's nothing necessarily fancy to see on the inside, but we have this locking mechanism. We have our gas powered pistons, foam padding in there. So yeah. There you guys are. Well, you know, we got a lock box here, a gun box if you want to call it that. Pretty happy with how it turned out. I like the stain, the lock, the pistons. Once we adjusted them enough and changed some stuff around, they seem to be working just fine. Of course, the RFID system is great. I'm a fan of those. And then yeah, we got a nice 1776 American flag. That's going to conclude some of the American flag patriotic things I've been doing recently. I'll get back to them. I like doing flag stuff, but I'm going to take a little break from that from now. So hope you guys liked it. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you next time.